excited. Like, I've been saying it all day. I've been waiting to just tell someone. It's 12:12. I like the ring. Like, anyway, it's not just because there's a ring to it. It's actually Independence Day, Kenya. Yes, it's Jamhuri Day, national holiday in Kenya. So if you went to Ghana, if you were in Kenya today, you would not be having to stress about working for money. You just lean back, chill, I like the sound. Anyway, on this day, December 12, in 1963, Kenya declared their independence from Britain. Yeah, this Britain. And the East African nation is freed from its colonial oppressors, but its struggle for democracy is far from over, as we know. And I think I ran through, history for a bit with you earlier. Let me just go over it again. Just a few things. In case you missed it, I'll be bringing you that information I said I'll be bringing you. The one about interesting facts about Kenya. Oh, stay with me, okay? So, let's see now. Let's go back to 1963. So it was the first all-inclusive election in Kenya. That was in 1963. But before that time, there was a lot of struggle. The Mau Mau struggles. What book was it I read that captured the Mau Mau struggle? My God, I'm trying to remember. I can't. I hope I do. I mean, before the end of the show. But if I don't, whatever I do remember, I'll be telling you all about it. It's a book on literature. Was it Ngugi wa Thiong'o? I think it was Ngugi wa Thiong'o that wrote that book. Ngugi wa Thiong'o is a Kenyan writer. Let me check that out very quickly. Yeah. Let me see. Where are my students of literature? People should turn up for me right now. Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see. Biography. Where is he from? Okay, sorry, I'm dragging this right. Yeah, let me see. Just confirm. Voila, Kenyan author. Yes, he's the one I was trying to remember. There was one of his books I read one time like that about this Mau Mau struggle, but I can't remember what exactly the title of the book is, but I'm sure it was the Ngugi wa Thiong'o work. Anyway. So, in 1947, there was the birth of the Mau Mau rebel movement, and then in 1952, in response to that Mau Mau rebellion, the government declared a state of emergency that lasted for 8 years. And during the state of emergency, a number of Mau Mau operatives, including the Kenyatta, the first president of Kenya, right, and Aneko, they were arrested. And in 1953, Kenyatta was charged with leading the Mau Mau rebellion, and he was sentenced to 7 years in prison. So when Kenya became a republic on December 12, 1964, Kenyatta was named Africa's East African country, Kenya, first president, with Odinga as his vice president. You may have heard the name Odinga in recent times. If you haven't, my God, I can't help you. I've tried. I've tried to help you. Anyway, some interesting information about Kenya. Yeah, just random now. East Africa, one of the countries in the Horn of Africa. If you checked your map, you'd see what I'm saying. It's just that part of the map it looks like a horn if you looked at it very well. So the entire country has about just 54 million people. So you see Nigeria has what now? 200 million and over. Some say it's 210, some say it's 200. But usually people just say a little over 200 just to stay on the safe side. So they have about national 50 parks, counting up to 50. So you may have heard about the Masai Mara National Park and the Amboseli National Park. I think the story from last week on African Vibes I took, where some animals have been reportedly dead because they died because of the drought situation Kenya is facing, would have been, I think, the Amboseli National Park. I'm trying to remember that. Anyway, so if you ever travel to Kenya, those are some of the very interesting safari destinations you're likely to be led to. And of course, Mount Kilimanjaro. But Kilimanjaro is now in Tanzania after the separation. But you know that there are a total of about 50 national parks and reserves in Kenya alone. 22 national parks, 28 national reserves, and they are managed and maintained by the National Wildlife Service in Kenya. Right. And that song I played you, it was very intentional. Jambo Bwana. Every time you travel to Kenya, I think this song meets you from the airport. Wageni, wakaribishwa. So I remember traveling to Mount Kilimanjaro and everybody was, I don't know, it wasn't like mandated, but somehow everybody had to learn this song. At some point, it was just reflex. It can't be the one left out now. Everybody's singing the song and you're chewing mouth. It's not possible. So for some people who were slow to learn, when it gets to the Hakuna Matata part, you just Hakuna Matata. Even if you didn't know what they were saying earlier, it was just easier to just say Hakuna Matata. Anyway, where was I? On the interesting facts, right? Okay, very quickly. quickly now. 60 languages. That's what they have in total in Kenya. Yeah. Kenya may have only 2 official languages, that's Swahili and English, but the people, they have about 60 others. For instance, let me tell you something in Swahili now. Jambo Bwana. That's like, hello, sir. I mean, I know the language. I'm just being humble. Anyway, so the first woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize was from Kenya. Right. Wangari Maathai. She was a Kenyan. I'm sure you remember the name, the inspirational woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize owing to her environmental, social, and political activism. In 2004 was when she won the award. So the first woman ever to win a Nobel Peace Prize was from Kenya. Mount Kenya is the second highest mountain in Africa. Right, that's another thing. That's the one after Mount Kilimanjaro. The neighbors anyway, yeah, so it's relatable. Okay, so coffee is the country's most valuable export. In case you didn't know, Kenya is the world's leading safari destination. I mentioned that. It is home to the world's best long-distance runners. Those Kenyan guys can run. Have you seen their history? Yeah. Okay. So, I think those are just random facts very quickly that I have gone through. And yes, there was an election this year, 2022. William Ruto is now president of the country. And he's traveled to Rwanda, another neighboring country. Where is that country again? Which one? The people... What was... Let me remember. Give me a minute. Somalia. Right, where people were trying to run into Kenya the other day because they didn't have water. So Kenya in itself is suffering drought situation. And people are coming from other countries, neighboring countries, to look for water in the same Kenya that were having water problems. I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. Being brothers, keepers and stuff. Anyway, if you don't do this for them, who will? Let's listen to another song from Kenya. This is like, what's it called now? Golden Era song, music, orchestra, Le Mangaleba. Don't tell me I didn't call it right.
Tindanga na mela poisson soki na kufi bandeko koka mote sela nanga ya bomoi ekei bamba motema moto moto mabala ya bomwana eleki makambo pampasi na komona nalembi kobotela motema mpe mabanzo nameka kopesa mokongo namemi ngambo mabala ya bomwana eleki makambo motema mpe mabanzo ekotindanga na mela poisson. Motema moto moto mabala ya bomwana eleki makambo pampasi na komona nalembi kobondela motema mpe mabanzo nameka kopesa mokongo namemi ngambo mabala ya bomwana eleki makambo sansa oyanga na yo oyanga na yo oyanga na yo ekominga na mela poisson.
It has just begun.
Check it out.
Please scan your dial.
You found it.
You found it.
Citizen 93.7 FM. Abuja. We are the best. The best.
To 93.7 Citizen FM. Based in Nigeria's capital.
Your number one radio station.
Touch the dial.
And now for something completely different.
Hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are.
We are controlling transmission.
It's the Citizen Show with Didi.
Okay, so we're here. Yeah, it's 6:31 p.m. That's what the time is. My God, how time flies, right? Okay, so it's the final lap of the show. Yeah, thank you for going with me to Kenya and being back here. There's also interesting information about Nigeria that happened on this day. Let me mention that quickly, and then we will step into our conversation. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm sure that I mentioned earlier that we'll be having a conversation later on. Yeah, my guest is already in the studio, so in about 5 minutes or less, we would be, starting off on that talk. Okay, so but before then, did I tell? Yeah, I did. I could nearly be sure that I did mention it. That today in 1991, Abuja became the capital of Nigeria. Yeah, the Federal Capital Territory thingy, right? It was on this day, December 12, 1991. So the political center of Nigeria was officially moved from Lagos to Abuja under the leadership of the former military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida. Lagos had experienced a massive population increase from the 70s. I don't know if that's any different from what we're experiencing in Abuja right now, because you can check the stats. Now, as living conditions deteriorated in the city, former military head of state, Mohammed, that's General Murtala Mohammed, set up a panel in August 1975 to decide if they would move the capital, with the government still stacked with money from the oil boom. So the panel decided to build new capital city of Abuja, and they took portions of lands from 4 different states, from Kaduna, from Kogi, from Nasarawa, from Niger. So Abuja was chosen for several reasons, and here we are, several years later, celebrating the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, being, well, Abuja and other area councils. Well, Abuja is just one of the area councils, but the FCT in general, though. So that decision, it officially became a thing on this day, 12/12, in 1991. Now you know, so it's time to get into this conversation. Now, if I didn't bring you that gist, who would have, right? Okay, so here we go. Today on my show today, I'm joined by Kisu. Hi, Kisu.
Hello.
That's all.
So what else?
You're supposed to be rolling on the floor like, yay, oh my God, things like that. We're bringing down the roof. We're asking for water. Pour me water. You've been cool, like sitting down here, right? Sitting pretty and stuff. And then once I called your name, then you just, it's like a switch button, like, you just on. Like, yeah, yes, it's me. That kind of thing. So what happened to the energy?
I'm just tired. Had a very busy day today.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Where's the money?
It's coming.
From where?
I don't know, but it's coming.
We're still hopeful. We're still very hopeful. Anyway, so let me tell you something about Kisu very quickly now. There's a reason why Kisu is here today. Remember how we're celebrating we celebrate African stuff. Yeah, I'm particularly a very huge lover of African stuff.
That's nice.
Have you noticed?
I like your hair though.
Oh, stop it. But thank you. We'll continue though. All right, so Kisu is someone who is particular. Bill Kisu, right?
Yes, Bill
I like Kisu.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, okay. You know what the part you say thank you.
Oh, see, okay, I won't say it's pride. It's somehow like pride, but it's not pride.
Arrogance with a subtle touch of
Yes, you get it.
lack of humility. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. All right, very quickly now. Kisu is she's a fashionista, she's a fashion designer, she's a fashion representative. But what I find interesting about you is that you don't do like regular stuff.
Yeah.
It's more African inclined, right?
Yes.
You speak my language.
Yes.
When it comes to African vibes, so you are the representative of the African territory.
Yes, it has to be everything Africa.
All right, great. Okay, so I was having a conversation with you earlier about the pan out of fashion across time in Africa. How does that generally make you feel? Where we've been through, all of the pictures you've seen, your grandmothers and distant relatives, or even the generations before the generations that you even knew were your generations, and then how we are right now. How does that make you feel generally?
Well, for the generations before my grandmother, I don't really know what they're drawing.
You see pictures?
I don't have the pictures.
No. You don't. My God. Okay, go on, please. Go on.
For, let me say, those like my grandmother and the rest, the way they represented African fashion,
right,
from their headscarf,
like mine.
Oh my God!
Stop. Please go on.
To their waist beads, to their buba, like. There is this charisma and pride that they had in themselves, and I feel like now this generation we've lost that, or almost like we're trying to redefine it in a way whereby we're trying to add the Western fashion to this fashion. Like, this generation were confused.
No, would you call that confused, or would you say this is us charting our own path? This is us sourcing our own cool.
Okay, so there's this thing that I say. From the history, you know what the future would look like. And right now, we as Africans were doing the whole African right, we're going back to our roots and everything. But I find it that we see ourselves through the eyes or through the light of the Europeans. So it's quite difficult for us to truly understand where our roots lie.
But then again, okay, take hair for instance, because that's fashion too, right? My hair is all natural. I've been
Over
carrying
me, dreadlocks all the way to my waist.
We should have a local community. We should be meeting every once in 3 months or something. We should have meetings from time to time. No, but really, I've seen situations where even on Instagram, popularly, people are more inclined to, more. They're like coming. It's like a re-awareness, like a reawakening happening. People are more inclined to being in tune with what they have, the struggle, the African struggle. People are more embracing more the 4C hair. They're knowing more about it.
Yes.
Isn't that the same thing for fashion too?
It is.
Right?
Yes.
People are more interested in, knowing what we had. For instance, I've seen some pictures of some really African fabrics.
I was just about to say that.
You will see really African fabrics carrying some Renaissance kind of style.
Yes.
Some things. I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't think that we could do this with this fabric. Usually when we see these fabrics, what comes to mind is, let's sew wrapper. Right? And just have something across our chest.
Yes.
And that's it. But nowadays, people are going, 2,000 yards.
Okay, like, one thing that I have appreciated, like, recently is the fact that see Ankara. People think that when you say Ankara, you're talking about African fabrics and all, but the thing is, most of the fabrics that we use are not even printed in Africa.
Of course not.
So
the history of it, I was reading it last night. It's not even, it doesn't have anything to do with Africa
at all. But we've carried it on top of our head like Gilly.
Wow.
So
keep going.
But when we actually find out that we have our own indigenous beautiful fabrics, oh my God.
So what are those indigenous beautiful fabrics?
We have our adire, we have our ashoke, we have our kente. Like, the list is on and on and on, like it is endless. There's some fabrics that you would find and you're like, this is our own Africa. Like, when it comes to African fabrics, I am just the happiest, because it's almost like you put a baby in a candy shop.
Oh, right.
I love
Knock
it.
yourself out.
Oh my god.
I can imagine that feeling. I can imagine it. So what era of fashion would you say we are at right now?
I would say, okay, our fashion at the moment is a mix of what's happened in the 90s with what happened in the early 2000s, with like all the way. So right now I feel like we are redefining ourselves with what happened with Corona, everybody going into lockdown. We found out that there are different ways of doing different things. So at the moment people are comfortable and they're trying to redefine themselves, meaning I don't have to look this certain way in order for me to be in this place.
That was very important to say. That was very important to say. You know, there was a time when I'd get invitations. I do public speaking every now and again.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So there are times when I get invitations to speak at some places, and I have to mentally picture, oh no, if you don't look this certain way to this event. And it's usually a tie for me. But somehow in the last couple of years, I've just, my God, I just do me like all the time. There's someone else in the studio who I'm not allowed to talk. Exactly.
Not at all.
There's someone else in the studio.
He will spoil it for us.
Exactly. The day I met him at an event, if I want to be kind now, I'll allow him to attest, because this is him to bear witness. This is me giving him an opportunity to bear witness.
Yes.
My hair was all African, you know, like it was my hair combed out.
Oh wow.
Yes, and the fabric I had on my body was also, but then it was supposed to, it didn't have any African thing to the name of that event. So what used to happen was, I noticed that, if an event has African this or African that, you now see people turn up in their African-ness, quote and unquote. But if it doesn't have that African name to it, you would see a need for people to wear the dresses with the shimmers and everything and
the tux.
You know, but now I'm seeing people stepping out in their dashiki. People are stepping out in their representation of who they are, and for me, I think that's an exciting turn of events, and I'm proud.
Honestly, like I went for an event recently, and throughout Corona, what I was doing is basically I'm at home. So whenever I'm on like an online event,
so this is
or
you trying to not allow the authorities come arrest you, because everybody had to be at home during the period, right?
Yes, definitely.
So
I didn't go out.
Nobody could have gone out.
Yes.
So what are you saying?
Online events, Zoom.
But nobody could have gone out. So it's like we're not doing the right thing, though.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Increase your volume. Keep going.
So Zoom meetings or Zoom events, and instead of usually like I go up with the makeup and everything, but I'm at home and I'm like, okay, I have an event by 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that, and I just go, I wear a dress, I put my veil, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to enter into that persona or anything. I'm always wearing something Afrik. So recently I went for an event in the British Council, and I turned up wearing a full-blown black dress, and then I tied like
the turban,
not really a turban, like a gele, but with my ashoki.
Oh.
And when I walked in, they were like,
right, you stole the show.
Literally. And and I missed that. I missed going out for like real face-to-face events. And the thing was that, I was a guest, but then they were now treating me like, oh my God, who is this woman? Are you a speaker? Are you a this? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, people don't know.
You know, I get that. I totally get it. And you know, there was a point in time, right, where it was only when we have church day, people would have tell me, call the names, give me the names. Those events in churches now, traditional day. So if you're a Robo, please wear a Robo attire.
Yes.
If you are from exactly whatever indigenous African ethnic group you want to represent, those are the days that people will go to the bottom of, you know what they call bottom box. Tell me now.
I know.
Good. That's why people would actually go to the bottom box to fish out those fabrics and use. They don't usually wear them.
And the funny thing is, they don't even wear them in a beautiful way. It's almost like as if let me just wear this thing and go and put it back inside the box.
Good. And I didn't like a particular point in time where it was okay, just one day of the week where you could wear traditional attire to office or to classrooms or
Friday.
to school on a Friday. Why was that okay? We are a people. We have our own culture, which is supposed to be cool. So you're telling me Monday to Thursday I'm cool, but Fridays let me just we don't have to just. This is who we are.
But funny enough, they made it our Friday clothes, our Sunday clothes.
Right.
So whenever you see someone wearing Ankara or something, so wearing like an indigenous African, you're like, are you going to church?
Hey. In fact, wait, take a round of applause for this thing that I just said. Now let me give you a round of applause. Please go on. Thank you. You know, I don't like it when people see you dressing it, but I can go to a mall. I can just dress up and go to a mall. I'm looking forward to a time where people can actually dress up in the full African representation or whatever it is that you feel comfortable in, and go to a mall and people are not looking at you like, oh, where is this? Where did you break out from?
Or why are you dressed like this?
Exactly. Is it not okay? Is it not what I'm wearing? Anyway, all right. Thank you. Before I lose it. Okay. So, what season is it easiest to be fashionable? Being fashionable, is this seasonal or?
Every season has its own fashion that comes with it.
I'll tell you why I asked this question. Is it personal? But don't tell anybody. Okay. So this is the thing, right? I'm very comfortable. I love Hamatan as a person. Maybe because I was born around the period.
This is my worst season. But continue. Why? The dust. I have like breathing issues, so this is just the worst.
Have you seen my skin? Okay.
I don't know why they say that this season my skin is like dry.
I love it.
Oh no.
I love the fact that I can wear what I like because it's not cold, it's not hot. Well, we're experiencing climate change and everything, so it's not as it used to be. But there was a period where Hamatan was like the guy.
Yes, it was good for your skin.
You could wear like turtleneck. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's not rainy, so rain will not meet you somewhere. Rain is beating you up and down. I liked it. You get so for me, it was very okay to be fashionable during Hamatan.
Actually, for Nigeria, I think Hamatan is like the best season.
Have you tried to wear some clothes in heat season? Amen. February, March. Come back with a report. But you're the fashion person now, so you should be telling us that. Anyway, so let me pick your brain on this. How has modern trends affected fashion? And how can the person who has this sense of retro still be ish in this 21st century, 2023?
Like I said, this time, like this era, fashion sense is like a combination of everything that has happened and what we think is going to happen. So you say that the wide leg jeans is still in trend, high waist palazzo is still in trend, love. Like the big glasses are still in trend, hoop earrings are still in trend, afro. Like I feel if you want to live the old school life, I recently had an old school themed birthday party, and you needed to see the way my nephews and nieces blew out the outfits. Like
nephews and nieces, this is giving me 3-year-old vibes.
No.
Okay,
we're talking from 20 below. Yeah.
Okay. I see. So and this Gen Z, no, they ain't playing.
Oh wow, it's like their outfits were on point, and you'd be like, how did you get this? These are outfits that they already have in their box.
I love that part. I love it. You see, okay, so I think, do you know about late bloomers? You know how people actually begin to reach some peaks after a particular... I think I'm a late bloomer when it comes to some things. So, pardon me. So, in recent times... are you seeing the excitement?
Yeah, I can see the excitement. Like, you're liking the gist.
So, the other day... In fact, in recent times, so I got a sewing machine. I sew.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I do a lot of things. Let's not even open that book.
I think we need to have this conversation regularly.
I know, right? So I looked at something in one of my boxes, and I picked it up, and I was amazed at what I could make with it. And then that one piece, I have been able to do a lot of things. I could combine stuff, and I'm like, guy, I've had you for years in my box. I haven't had a use for you, and suddenly you are taking centerpiece in my life right now because of how many things I could do with something that I've always had, but I just never found how to use it right. And that's the next thing I was going to talk about. There are some things that people have, they don't even know how to use.
Okay, so let me bust your brain in that point.
Oh no, I'm fragile.
See,
Go on. Go on.
See, my pants that I'm wearing at the moment, I think 3 weeks ago, I used the material as my head tie.
Boom shakalaka. Tell me more.
And then on the 8th of December, that was the anniversary of my brand, I decided to turn it into a palazzo trouser. So on my birthday, I wore it with a kimono for my birthday. And they were like, oh my God, because it was my hair tie, so it's like not too plenty, so I mixed it with another fabric. And they were like, oh my God, I love the combination, I love how it fits, I love this. Like, and I'm like,
you know what's giving me, you know what's reminding me of? You know what's reminding me of? Did you follow that? I think it wasn't on Instagram also. How will they know? No, they will know.
Yes.
How will they know? That's the vibe it's giving me right now. I'm telling you. No, I won't tell, so you won't know.
Yeah.
If I didn't tell you that, oh, that thing you saw me wearing on my head the other day was my palazzo pants, and what I'm wearing now on my body as a dress is actually palazzo. You know, you can actually do that, right? You can actually make a dress out of a palazzo pants.
Like, it is the most amazing thing, because these days I look at an outfit and I'm like, what can I do with you?
Right. So the trousers are no longer just trousers.
Oh, no.
But we're not talking crazy. For people who are listening right now, we're not talking crazy. People, I'm saying some crazy stuff. Give me a minute. So you're listening to Citizen FM 93.7. And I'm having a conversation with Kisu. We're talking African fashion right now.
Yes.
And some staples that you have in your closet that you could use. Yes, and the show is Super Citizen at Sunset. So, crazy. Have you seen this trend of people using jeans, the side that have pockets, and they are making a top out of it?
When you say these people, like, I feel like as if you are talking to me, but you don't want to talk straight.
Please stand again. Let me see what you're wearing. I need to be sure I'm not throwing darts at the wrong people. But you do that?
Yes,
is
I
it cool?
do. It is.
Really?
I have this kimono that I made with my jean trouser, and I mixed it with Ankara, and my mom was like, okay, I had this trouser for a very long time. I was in love with it. And my mom was like, Kisu, it's time for you to get rid of this trouser. And I was about to, and I had pieced it. And the next thing that came to my mind was, what if I use this for something else? Like,
I love
was
that
in love.
small voice.
I was
I love it. It's, you know, it comes to you when you are not. It just whispers to you. What if you could do this with this? And that's how things are reborn. I'm telling you.
I was just telling my partner that I am literally in my rebirth area. Like, this, I am doing
That's
things.
fantastic.
It is just the best.
Okay, so you know it's rude to talk about fashion and not talk about the little black dress. You know, right? It's just rude. I was not at the meeting where that was agreed upon, but I think there was a meeting at some point. There was an agreement that you cannot talk about fashion and not talk about the little black dress. So let's talk about the little black dress.
I think the little black dress just represents that badass woman who's in control of herself.
Language now.
Sorry.
But I get your point though. It just gives you the edge.
Yeah.
And it's something you can always pull out anytime you please. Like any single.
And it's versatile.
Good. That's the point. That's exactly what I was hoping you would nail. But I think that for a lot of us around here, I think we still need to, spread our minds when it comes to what we can do with that little black dress. Because you'll be amazed what one piece can do for you.
Honestly.
You see, okay, let me, randomly now. So you're listening to me right now, yes? Sorry, I didn't open the phone line. It's your fault.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's your fault. You discriminated. But okay, for people who are listening to me right now, I just have 2 more minutes. But 1 minute. It's just 6:54 now already. Okay. So this is the thing. Little black dress. You can actually wear your little black dress as a knee-length little black dress. You could have what's that flowing long skirt called? Bohemian.
Is it a gypsy skirt?
Gypsy, right? I don't know, something. That name, though.
Yes.
That long dress, that long skirt that you have.
Yes.
You could wear it on top and make it a top,
Yes.
right? And it also depends on the fabric of the little black dress that you have.
Yes.
It can also serve as that scarf with a little bit of jazz up, like maybe use another fabric over it, and like this brown thing I have on my head now. You know, I could have a black dress underneath and have this brown on top, and then you just jazz everything up. There's a lot you could do with the little black dress in case you want ideas.
Funny enough, you can wear the little black dress to work with a blazer and office shoe, and then
oh my god,
transform
my
it
boss is
into
listening, so they'll think I don't like office because all the examples I give, I did not give office example. It's not like that. I can explain. But really, thank you very much, Kisu. Fantastic conversation this has been tonight.
I had so much fun.
I know, right?
I love talking fashion. Any day, anytime.
So you'll be our guest on another day.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. She said it too. Say it again. Let them record it. Fred, record this part. I know you record everything, right? But record this part again. I'll say it again.
I can't wait.
The next time I'll call you up, I'll record the conversation. If you say you have any emergencies you need to attend to, you can't be whatever. We're not going to allow that.
No.
There is no excuse that can stand.
Even if it's on my wedding day, I'll
you
come.
say! In fact, round of applause again. You rock. Thank you very much, Kisu.
Thank
it was
you
really
for
nice
having
having
me.
you on the
Thank
show
you so
tonight.
much for having me.
All right, people. So that'll be about it today on Super Citizen at Sunset. I'm sure you had fun because I did. If you did not, my God, your problem is beyond me. Thank you, people. Where is he? Fred, where is Ezemo? Ezemo, he's taking over right about this time from this moment henceforth. Let me see. So, in celebration of Abuja becoming the federal capital city of Nigeria in 1991, let me play you something from Nigeria now. I played you songs from, what's it called? Kenya. One of my faves anyway. But here we go. Fumi Adams. Yeah, we were talking about Nigeria. We don't play this Nigeria, my beloved country. We've not started. See you guys tomorrow. Ciao.